Hi, everyone. Welcome to Piercing the Veil.
Hey, welcome back to our show. Hope everyone's had a good week and good weekend.
We see everybody's popping in chat. We have Roger and Val and Lulu and Gary Spikes. Thanks, Gary, for being here moderating, and Gemini Moon's moderating, and
Lulu's moderating.
they're dropping chats, and we got or they're dropping links. We got Heidi Pop and of course Barb. Barb's our guest tonight, Barb Hartman, Barb Hartman, and she's got her own websites and stuff, and we'll let her tell you about all where you can find her. And so when we get her on, we'll let you guys hear all that. And we got Catherine, and we just got a lot of people popping in. So if I don't say hi to you, I'm sorry. I'm trying to pay attention to our guests, and so if I don't notice something you say, but please put it in capitals if you have questions, so we can bring it up and discuss whatever you see or hear. And we got videos and pictures to show, so it's going to be a fun show with Barb, and we'll just go ahead and bring her up and let her say hi to everybody, and we'll get going. Hi, Barb.
Hi, Barb.
Thank you guys
for coming tonight.
Thank you. And hi, everybody in chat. I know many of you well. So great.
Yeah,
so
usually
telling everybody you have your own platform, and you're on Grizzly or Chris. He changed his name to what? Outlaw?
Bigfoot Outlaw. Bigfoot Outlaw. Grizzly.
Yeah.
Grizzly on the Hunt. I think it's still Grizzly on the Hunt, but I know it's Bigfoot Outlaw is how you can find him. It's easier to find him that way. So
yeah, and you do a show with him on Thursdays, I believe you said.
Yep. We have our own show together on Thursdays. It's Open the Door, and we talk about everything on that show. You know, the guests just all the weird, like, great stuff that we all love. And then I'm on the Bigfoot and Cryptids panel show we have on Wednesday nights, where we talk about like our own experiences and just breaking news. You know, like kind of cool cryptid stuff. So.
Yeah, he stays busy. He has a lot.
Yes, he does. He sure does. I don't know.
I don't know how he does it.
I don't know. He's always popping on. I'm going, oh my gosh, here's another show.
Yes. And then I have my Facebook page, No Drama Bigfoot and Cryptids, and then I have a YouTube, which is my YouTube page is really small. But same name, No Drama Bigfoot and Cryptids. So I started both my Facebook and my YouTube. I had been an administrator on another Facebook page, a Bigfoot page for years, and it just I wasn't in line like ideology with the page, other people on the page. They were wanting like absolutely clear photos and videos, and throwing everything out. And I'm like, I don't feel like this is right. Like you're going to get, not to say that you can't get some clear ones, but typically you're not. And I didn't feel that they understood why, So anyway, I decided with the help of Bettina Moss, actually, I was talking to her and she said, why don't you just start your own? And then it's your rules. So I thought that's what I'm going to do. Because at that point, I had started to really have a lot of my own experiences where at the house that we presently live, the property. And so I thought I just needed an outlet. I wanted to be able to, ask people questions and put a picture. Well, at that point I wasn't I hadn't gotten any audio, but a picture or something, or like a tree break or something like that, a wood structure, and see what people think, So
that's what we did. We were always in everybody's chats, and we slowly became moderators. And then, then people started asking us on their show, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is fun. I want to hear other people's stories. So then we started slowly asking people to come on our show after we started our YouTube and all this. And, everybody just like you has been so kind and nice and just say, okay, yeah, sure, I'll come on. So we like hearing everybody else's experiences to try to take something out of their story that maybe hasn't happened to us, or maybe explain something that we saw that we didn't know what it was or how to explain it. So this adds to our whole picture of it's like a jigsaw puzzle. Just add little pieces here and there to try to get a full picture as best we can.
Absolutely. The more that happens, right, the more questions we have.
Yeah.
Grizzly and Eric, hi. Yeah, just like when we were talking before the show about the blue orb thing, and I had
Mhm.
I had a video and some pictures, and I didn't know that that was a thing. And then you all said the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's so cool that so many commonalities, in the evidence and our experiences. Just cool stuff.
Yeah, it's all connected. I mean, that's what we got to be as a community. We got to share our story, and not to doubt anybody or anything. It's just like,
Right.
okay, just take what they're saying, because that's their experience. Like I said, nobody's experience is the same. Nobody rationalizes it or tries to make sense of it in their own head the same way the next person does.
Right.
So you
Yep.
could be seeing the same thing, but describing it different.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
There's
always
Grizz right there.
Yeah, yep. Hi, Grizzly. I always say that, and I know that people are not going to agree with me on this, but I would rather share something that is questionable and possibly fake than to shut somebody down that is
Yeah.
it's real and it just seems super weird, because I also say that, like, if you fake something, you hoax something, and people find that, all you need to do is one time and you're done. Like, I mean, as
Right.
far as
Mhm.
in my mind, you've lost all integrity.
Yep.
So,
Right.
and that's how I think most of us in the field feel, in this, because it's just, if you're going to fake once, you're going to fake it again. So, but it's it really takes it's there's a lot of emotions in putting out your evidence, and even in in everything, listening, seeing them. So it really is, it's an emotional thing, and it's like when um you just don't know. We don't know. We think we have ideas and opinions, but nobody knows for sure, right?
Right.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know, just like talking dimensionally or
Mm-hmm.
higher frequencies and vibrations. I mean, we're not there. I mean, they're either coming into our world or the veil's thinning a little bit and we're getting a glimpse of them. So we don't know what they're seeing, or I mean, they might be seeing us in their world all at the same time, or
Right.
so whatever glimpse we get, we have to take and try to make sense to us, because that's not natural in our realm, what our visible spectrum is. We
Mm-hmm.
get these little glimpses, and it's like, what was that? How,
Right.
you know,
Right. Yes. Yes. Definitely. Definitely. And I feel like if people have abilities that they can, like, if you have psychic abilities, or just intuition,
Mhm.
um, I feel that there are people that can also see into, like,
right?
these
Yes,
Yeah.
different dimensions that are all here congruently occurring. Because some people can, wow, they can really see things, and I don't, okay, I believe them, whatever.
Right.
Again, it's this thing, like, that goes back to the hoax. If they do something that you find that they're lying or they're hoaxing, well, then then I'm not
right.
going to believe them again.
Mhm.
But I definitely think that, because I have been able to, with the help of, like, some mentors, I've been able to see some things that, basically, like, look at a picture and and try to, if you see something suspicious, how you can almost, like, pull it out, change the settings on your photos. If you can make the photos into black and white, that will show things that you may not be able to see.
Yes,
Mm. Mhm.
Things like that. It's too far for me. A handheld magnifying glass, just to look at versus zooming in, is also super helpful. Because
Mm.
when you zoom in, some of the pictures, it'll kind of, they pixelate and it all goes away. But just kind of
Right.
right.
holding a magnifying glass over, or obviously if you can look at it on a big screen television, if or monitor. But again, that's sometimes it just it blows it up and it pixelates it, so you've lost all kind of the integrity of the photos. But so
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff out there. I mean, we've even talked to people that can mind speak, and I can't.
Mhm.
I can sense that they're here, or I just have, just resonates with me that I know, okay, they're here. I just can't visibly see them. I can't visibly hear them,
yeah.
but I know people that say they can, and who am I to say they can't? And
Mm-hmm.
then they
Right.
tell us stuff that makes sense to us, that what we're hearing or seeing or whatever. And
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, I told you guys, and I think Brian Barber is on here. I told very few people about this because it's like something that I had to sit on for a while, and kind of when it happened to me, it was honestly like shocking. And I'm like, wait, is this real? Did that happen? But because I've never had like mind speak from them. And I do feel like it happened to me a few weeks ago. And I sent you guys the audio. I'm sorry, excuse me. There's a, I guess I think he's like an alpha male of the clan, the family that lives here. And he's very distinctive. He's very loud, very deep bass. When I had the spectrogram, done, he's way up there. Like, it like tops out sometimes with the noises that he makes. And he almost sounds like he has like a sinus infection. But I got him. He's the first one that I was able to recognize when I started to get the audio recordings. And but I don't hear him. I haven't heard him for a while. And one night, I guess it was about 2 weeks ago, I was laying in bed and I was watching my security cameras, and I'll explain about how that happened. But and I'm watching them, and I'm also listening to like a podcast or watching, a podcast, and the person was talking about mind speak, and I thought, wow, I was thinking, I wonder if that's ever gonna happen to me. Maybe not. Maybe I've also been told that not all of these beings have the abilities to mind speak with people, and then not all of them want to.
Right.
So anyway, I'm just laying there and turn on the one of the cameras, and all of this a sudden it was like I saw a picture of the word Mont, M-O-N-T. And then I heard Mont, but it was like a weird, it wasn't my voice. It wasn't like I would think like a Bigfoot or whatever. It was almost like, it's weird, Jane, like you said, like almost like a robotic voice kind of, but it was real. It was like, Mont. And I'm like, what? And then I heard, because I'm also listening to the camera, I hear this, what I think, the alpha male come in. And I'm like, oh my gosh, because I hadn't heard him in a while. And I thought, wait a minute, is he telling me that is his name? Like, is he Mont? And I was like, oh my gosh. So I listened for a while. He's just at the very beginning. And then I didn't hear him anymore. Like, he walked almost like up to the camera, makes these grunting noises, and then that's it. Couple minutes later, so I'm thinking about this. I Googled the name. Mont means mountain, and I'm like, well, that's kind of cool, Yeah, and then I thought, wait a minute, though, maybe this is just my imagination. It's a wild coincidence. Who knows, So I go back to that camera and I'm listening, and I'm like, okay, Mont, I'm thinking in my head, okay, if you're talking to me, can you please like say something? And he gives the grunt noise, that like, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Wow.
And then that's the one where I heard this weird sound that I've never heard before. That is almost like you would hear on a television show, like a portal opening up or into another dimension, like a weird. And one of my friends said, when she listened to it, she said, gosh, Barb, that sounds like it's a portal or something opening up. And I'm like, so again, that's
right.
I know that's super weird stuff, but I don't know how. I don't have an explanation for that. But
right, same here. I keep thinking it's my imagination, but the last couple of years I am picking up. I think it's more telepathy. I don't, mind speak. A lot of people don't like the word mind speak.
Yeah,
right. It's more like telepathy. It's similar to me picking up what the cats and the goats and the chickens are telling me. I feel like I have that connection with them, even a wild animal. And so but I do feel like I hear the words, just like after I heard that audible voice, they told me afterwards, like, well, that's what you sounded like the night before. I felt like I heard that in my mind. It wasn't me thinking that.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So the main problem I have is that when we experience these things, we're in awe and we're just like not necessarily shocked, but it's like you said, did I really hear that? What was
Right.
that? You know, you're
Mhm.
and then
Yep.
the more you think about it, the more you get in your own head, and like
Yes.
that's probably the worst
Mhm.
problem. Like you start doubting yourself,
Absolutely. Mhm.
and then you start closing down those doors or
Yep.
whatever you were using to be able to see that. So then you might not be able to see it for a while because you doubted
That's
Right.
what
right.
that experience you have. But then you start opening back up, then you start having experiences again. But you have to believe,
Mhm.
you know,
Mhm.
yourself that okay, I'm having this experience, and you know,
Mhm.
I believe it's Bigfoot or whatever you're seeing.
Mhm. Right.
And
So,
they
but
know
as
you're
soon as
having
you
doubts.
start having doubt, you start shut down
Yeah.
those doors and windows that you're
Mhm.
Yep.
getting all this information through.
Yep. Right. Yes.
Got to keep that open mind.
Yes. Yeah. Because I told Brian, he's a person that I think Barb. Yeah. Thank you, Brian. Yep. I think you're right. Yeah.
Mhm.
He's a person that he's had similar experiences and weird stuff. And we're both like sensitive, like empaths, I think, you know,
Yep.
and so I just felt like comfortable. He was one of the people that I said, what do you think about this? And he's like, no, I don't know what else I would think. What else could you think? You know,
Right.
Right.
because not only
Right.
was it the first, you know, response, then the second one, that was, oh, it's so weird. But, yeah, so so I guess I'll just kind of go back for people that don't know. We live in Western Washington State, and we bought a house in September 2017. It's on a high bank of the Puget Sound, so which is like it's a saltwater estuary, I believe. I don't know. Anyway, so
Okay.
you know, so there's a lot of food sources available for them.
Mm.
Washington State. I live in Pierce County, so that has like the number one reported amount of Bigfoot sightings in the nation. It's always a subject that I've been interested in. I mean, for just gosh, I think I was introduced. My father was somewhat, I think, interested in them. But his was more of like a I don't know if he completely believed, but he thought it was a cool subject. You know, he showed me the Patterson Gimlin film.
Mm.
He had showed me, we watched The Legend of Boggy Creek together. So just, things like that.
Right.
So when I grew up in Pennsylvania, I was born and raised in Pennsylvania, and my husband and I, with our family, we kind of moved around a lot. And then when we moved out here, we moved out to Washington State in 2012. But we moved to more of like a suburban area first, but we found this house. We both thought it would be great to live like on the water, and we both wanted to get into a rural, area.
Right.
And it's just love it. I'm sorry. On two sides. So the back is the Puget Sound, and then on the one side of my house, and then the front of the house is it's like like a life. What do they call it? A life. I can't think of the name. Somebody owns it, a family owns it, and has like you can't develop it. You can't.
Like a trust or
That's it. Thank you. Like a life
Mm.
trust. Exactly. Can't. So it's protected. And they have like a manager of the property, and there are some family members that come and go, and they live on a couple, like few, probably acres away. But again, I think it like creates the perfect like habitat for them. I don't
Mhm.
know, because I feel like I'd have to ask the people who first set up the trust, and I believe they are now passed away. Like, why did they set up this trust? Did they know? Did
right.
they have any idea? It
Right.
could be.
Mm. Yeah.
Their land was in the family for like years. So yeah, I don't know.
That's the
Oh,
other thing I like. I like watching the national and state park videos where the rangers or people say, you know, okay, there's stuff going on here, you know. So is that why the park was set up originally to protect
right.
this because they know what's going on? And then some sections we can't ever go in. I
That's
mean,
right.
they didn't stop pedestrians or hikers or whatever to go in these parts. So it's like, okay, what's up with this part?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, so I have permission. We know the farm manager is a great guy. Permission to be on, to walk around and hike through the area. So I'm really protective. I don't want to lose I don't want to lose that privilege. Oh my gosh,
Right.
that would be, it would be, even though they now come on to my property and I know that they do, but I would never, I don't want to. And the main thing to me is just protecting them,
Right.
but I think, through my Facebook page, I actually met a guy that lives about 5 miles from me, and we're pretty sure that the clans have the same family members, or if his clan doesn't come up to my area, because that's not a big deal to them for that type of travel,
Right.
but a lot of the same things. He also says that the clan that lives around him doesn't do a lot of mind speak or telepathy. It's very rare. So I was thinking, well, I'm probably not going to get that either. So we'll see. But so we started. Okay, so yeah, but like I digress. So we started the first bit of evidence that we had was my husband found these large footprints, like a barefoot, under our house in some gravel. And he's more of a skeptic than I am, but he definitely believes. And he's a hunter, lifelong hunter, grew up on a farm, so he's well aware of what animal prints are,
Right.
and different.
Mhm.
And so he walked by this a few times, and then he said, all right, I'm going to have to tell her, she's going to be excited. But he said, I don't know what else this could be, because this is not any animal. It's not a bear, it's not bear prints. It's a
Mhm.
large footprint. And then also, he had also found on the beach these huge like boulders that were overturned, which that's something that they're
Mm.
down in the sand, so far down
Right.
in sand and rocks.
Yeah.
You need equipment to do that. Typically, a human couldn't do that, and there would be really no reason to do this. So he thought that was weird too. So that was in March 2018, and then we kind of had kind of weird things happening from 2018 through. Let me see. I guess December of 2021, I found, which I had sent you guys the picture. It's like a little, I call it like a wood igloo. It looks like a structure. It's just like an igloo, and it's made out of. So if you want,
Do you want me to start showing pictures
if you want to
as you're
show that,
talking now?
yeah, I guess, because if that's okay, yeah, because I'm thinking that would then people know what we're talking
Okay,
about.
so which one you want to show first? You want to start with the den or the structure?
Yeah, let's find. Yeah, let's show that. It looks just like. Oh wait, not that one. I'm sorry.
Not that one?
It's just like a little. It's completely wood structure. It looks like a little igloo, and it even has an X on the front of it, which I didn't even know that was a thing until I showed some people.
All right. Because I got the one where it looks like there's a den or a hole, and there's like 3 or 4 of them in a row of that. Is that what you're looking at, or
Yeah.
something
No.
totally?
Did I send you the smaller? This is like a. Oh, I hope I don't know. Maybe I didn't send it to you. It's a smaller structure. Let me see if anyway. Oh yeah, I sent it to you. It's the very last photo that I sent to you. The very last photo.
Last.
Yeah. And I can send it
See,
again.
I uploaded them. I don't know if I uploaded them in StreamYard exactly the same order. That's why I'm having a problem.
Do you want me to send it to you? And it doesn't. I mean, I can show it.
What?
I can show it on my phone. If you can see it, I guess, yeah.
So is it that one?
Yeah, that's it. That's the one. Yes.
Oh,
yes.
That is a nice X in front.
Yeah, and now when I would watch Bigfoot documentaries, they don't talk about this kind of stuff. This is not something they don't talk about. Wood structures on your any of your channels, the History Channel or whatever you have, the Discovery. They don't talk about this stuff. So I didn't know that this was a thing. And then I was talking to Mike Scott is a guy who really helped me in this journey. I met him through another channel or another page, and then Russell Easterbrooks, I don't know if you know of him, but anyway, he's a great guy. And these guys really taught me so much initially. And when I said, oh, here's something that we found, and then one of them said, well, look at that X. That's perfect. Now this thing is about It's about 8 feet like wide and about 4 feet inside high. So it's probably about 6 feet on the outside, but inside, because my son crawled in it. And this was after a big snowstorm. And he said that it looked like there was an area that was maybe dug out of the dirt that went down along, right along the tree, because it's a big tree. And I'm like, no, get out of there, get out of there. Don't. We were thinking, it was like an animal den of some sort.
Right.
Right.
But this is where they all now they still kind of congregate in this area, and that is about, I'd say, about 80 yards from my house, and I can go to the property line and kind of just look in that area, and I get a lot of, they just kind of hang out in there. It would be too small for a large one to go in, but maybe a juvenile or babies, if they would keep it
Right.
So,
and we had heard that from other people, that they think some of them are smaller because it is for the infants, or almost like a place to keep them safe while they're doing whatever they're doing.
Yes, right, exactly. Yeah.
But it also reminds me, some people say that, you go into an orb, it's much larger on the inside.
That's
so,
true.
I mean, dimensionally, do they go in there, and it's just a massive place dimensionally, but we're seeing a small little area.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
That's reminding me of my den that I found, but I just thought it would be a fox den or something. But this den that's like an 1/8 to a 1/4 of a mile from us is similar.
Yeah.
And I was really drawn to go over there and check it out.
And the day that we first found it, because this is there was a lot of deep snow the first time that we found it, and so I took this later on, when the snow had melted. But my son-in-law was with me and my son, and they both kind of, they kind of outdoor that know a lot about the outdoors, and they both said, agreed with me, like, this isn't something that an animal could make. This is something, because they're placed strategically. All of these branches are now, maybe, at the time we were thinking maybe bushcraft, maybe something like that. I've never seen anybody over on, but who's to say that they didn't? I know that it's heavily protected, so it's not going to just be some like random person or some stranger coming on to the property.
Right.
They have cameras around, and they have like a hired security that will ride like up and down, the road, like at night. And so, but again, I don't know if that, and to this day, I don't know, except I thought that it was interesting. I think now it's interesting with the X and the fact that they're all in that area. I get, I could go in probably a couple times a week and at least see one or two, kind of standing. They kind of sit there. I think that's where they stay in sometimes during the day, so.
Is the other pictures that they go along with that one?
Yeah, we can just, let's go through that, I guess. Yeah, that's, so what this is this is something that I found last June. They started to build these things, and a friend of mine said, oh, she thinks they're bunkers because this is the entrance to it. This thing, I don't know how big it is. If you can go to the picture of where I'm standing and pointing at it, it shows like the other side of it, because this is the entrance, I guess, part. And it's hard to, so the tree that is kind of kind of like curved and growing up,
right, then at the bottom a little.
Yep. And then the tree behind it, that's all. They just started to pot. It's just like a big pile of broken branches and whatnot, just all piled. And it started small, but it just grew. And this was just over a weekend that this started. And now they're down in it's a road that everybody that lives back this road would drive through to get to your houses. It's not something that just regular traffic would go through. But
right.
I think they can get in this bunker or hide in this bunker, and they could watch people, walking or whatever, driving by. And they're completely, yeah. So that's basically what it looks like. And it's just, and some of that is just big stuff. It's, if you weren't familiar with, the family that owns this, they're not, they really let things like natural. It's not like, oh, let's pile, let's push brush. Like they don't
Right.
clean things up, they just kind of let it. And so I know that this is not human. This is definitely not human. They'll take stuff out. If there's too much wood, if a big tree falls, they might cut it up and take it out. But anything that's there is just kind of left there. So it's really interesting that these things just, kind of just turn up.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. And they're massive. And now they've built some more, but they'll also disassemble, because I've seen things that were built up, and I think it's the Sasquatch that's doing it, that they'll just.
So the first picture we showed, this and this one are not the same structure.
No. Yeah, they're
Okay.
they're about probably about a quarter of a mile away from each other.
Okay.
But I'm probably the same family, same clan. So yeah, so going to from when I found that the little wood igloo, the smaller one, I found that, and then let's see, that was in December of 2021. Then in March of 2020, we had a hillside in our backyard was kind of like overnight dug up, and it couldn't be. First of all, it's too big of an area for like raccoons. It's too big. The plants are too strong, and a bear, but we would have caught that on our cameras because we have a perimeter, of security cameras, and we do catch a lot of wildlife. We actually don't get as much wildlife now as we used to. Before. I think that and so, I don't know if they claimed it, that they say that happens, but we definitely don't. But this is something, and again, don't know for sure, but we just thought it was really super weird that all of a sudden, literally overnight, this hillside is completely dug up as if somebody had come and almost like with a backhoe or something, and ripped through these really strong vines. Then in September of 2020, we were cleaning up this area that's right like next to our house that is wooded. It was getting really brushy and like a lot of dry stuff so it's wildfire season. Okay, we want to kind of clean it up because it's too close to the house. So we did that. And then a few days later, come out and there's a big broken tree branch, like 15 feet up. It's broken, it's twisted. And we hadn't had any windstorms, anything. I mean, it's a perfectly healthy tree. My husband said, "Oh, look what your friends did last night." So then a few days later, then another smaller tree had been bent, and so to form a perfect like X.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was really, I didn't realize until a few months later that that second tree, they had to actually take that and like pull it and like push it over to meet the other one. Because we were thinking, okay, well, maybe we didn't notice it. Like the first one fell, we didn't notice it. The first one fell and then eventually, but no, because then we were looking at pictures. I was looking at pictures and videos, and no, that first tree, or the second tree, had not been touched at all. It was just about a week, 10 days later. And so at that point is when Mike Scott had said, "You better get out there and start to do some more documenting and, and see what you do." But so he had suggested that I go over into the area that I'd found the wood igloo. And he said, "Now, if you really want to see one," he said, I take your phone with you, but don't walk around with your phone like this, because you're not going to get anything. So I thought, well, I honestly don't want to see one. I was not ready to see one.
Yeah.
So I thought what I'll do is I'll put my phone, I'll hang it around my neck on a plastic lanyard like I always do when I'm outside. So that's not going to be something unusual to them. And I'll just keep it recording, the whole time and whatever, do my thing, just what I do. I like to walk through the woods and say, "Oh, look at the beautiful this, or look at that, or look at that cute bird or cute squirrel," whatever. And so that's what I did. I saved the area for where I found that wood igloo. I saved that for last. I thought that's going to be, that'll be the end. And, so for probably about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, I was walking through this area, checking things out. And I got to about 10 to 15 feet from the little wood igloo area. And, I got grunted at, and I couldn't believe and it was so, like deep in, the sounds were so deep, like I felt it in my body. I always say, like, if you're watching a parade and the fire trucks go by and you feel that,
Right. Yes.
and that's what and so I really, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. And I kind of so I backed up, and because I thought, okay, I don't want to run. And part of me wanted to it was like, wait, did I just hear that? Like, is that my imagination? But I know it's not, because I know I felt it in my chest. I know it's not. And I knew it couldn't be like another animal. There's no other animals that would have made that noise. And I thought I really should keep walking toward it. And then I thought, what am I, like an idiot? I'm not going to keep walking toward it. Like, I'm by myself. I'm not armed. What the heck? Just go home. So again, I was like, well, I'm not going to turn and run. So I just kind of backed up, turned around, started walking. And then I got hit with what I know now is infrasound. I didn't know what it was at the time. It was just like extreme, like vertigo. And I was so dizzy, almost like I didn't even know where I was. It was like, oh my gosh. And I remember thinking, like, am I having a stroke or a heart attack? Like, what's happening to me? And I was really like scared, like, am I going to faint? And then I thought, oh my gosh, is this like a response to, maybe it's a response to like getting scared of the, but then it left, like the feeling completely left, like as if nothing, as if like, and so I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's good. Then I realized I wasn't even walking in the right way to my house. Like I would have gone down into a ravine, because there is a ravine between my house and where I was, if you go the wrong way.
Right.
So, and I don't know if anyway, I just was like, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? It was like, I was so disoriented, it's so stupid. All right. So then corrected my course, I'm walking the right way. And then the feeling hit me again. And this time I feel like it was almost stronger. And I thought, oh my gosh, am I going to make it to that? And again, not knowing anything about infrasound at the time. So I really thought again, oh my gosh, I am having a stroke or something. And now this is it. This is the big one. And I hope I make it home. And, I hope my family doesn't find me. And I could see the roof line of one of our outbuildings. We call it a carport. I could see that roof line. And I thought, Barb, just keep walking toward that. And I just kept walking. And when I got like to the property line, the feeling left me completely. I mean, completely, like nothing. Because I know we had said, some people experience, after effects. I had nothing like that. And I was really excited because I couldn't wait to tell my family, like, oh my gosh, I got grunted at. Then I realized, oh my gosh, my phone, I have my phone on me and it was recording. I looked down, my phone's dead. So I was like, I don't know. So come in the house and I'm telling my family, they're like, yeah, okay, sure. You got grunted at. All right. But as I'm charging up my phone, then when it charged enough, that I got it on. I was able to record the grunt. And shortly after that, my phone died. Now, I don't know if being hit with I don't know if that killed it, because I feel like the battery was fully charged when I went in. So again, I don't know if that was that or, but yeah, I was able to do that. So
is there one of the audios you'd like to
No,
play now?
I don't, because I just yesterday was able to, get a good amplification of it. And it's still not that great. And it's weird because of what?
I was talking about the ones you sent me. Would you like me to play one of those so people can hear what you're, in case they don't know what we're talking about?
Yes. Yeah, sure.
Is there anyone in particular that you want to share right now? Or
no, with the audio, how I capture that for anybody that doesn't know is what had happened is I started to get a lot of movement on our security cameras, and they're motion activated. And it was happening overnight, like from midnight to like 4 o'clock in the morning. I mean, one night we had like 20 of them, and you go
Mhm.
back and watch the recording and there's nothing there. So I'm like, wait, are they maybe trying to, are they trying to, like, I don't know. They're moving and they know that they're getting in the field of vision of the camera. I don't know, So then I thought I'm going to actually watch the cameras. So I started to watch the cameras and I started to hear things. And I'm like, gosh, I wish I could record it. Then find out, oh, wow, I can manually record. So I started to turn immediately when I turn on the camera, and I watch from like, 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning to like 3 or 3:30. Not every night. It's,
Mm.
certain nights, or if I'm not exhausted, because I exhaust myself doing this. But yeah, so that's how I've been able to get some, these.
So I'll play the MP3 one, and one is just strictly audio. It's not the movie audio one.
Yes.
All right. So I'll play this one first. We'll play it a couple times possibly so people can hear it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Should be playing, but I don't hear it.
There it is.
I heard the click.
Mhm.
Mm.
They're mimicking ducks is what they're doing.
Ah.
Yep.
That's definitely not a normal animal sound.
No.
So I don't know if I got to the end or if I don't know if I have it on loop or it's repeating or.
Huh? That was awesome.
Yeah, because the beginning is that like first, like it sounds like, you might hear it as like a click, but that's the big alpha, like going, he does that a lot.
Wow.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, we haven't heard anything that clear actually out of our cameras or anything.
No, I'm hearing a lot of clicks like they're throwing stuff at my cameras.
Yes, they love to throw stuff. And this was one that I was able to, I didn't, that Chris Hensley, actually, he has the Cryptid Cowboy Facebook page, and he's one of the co-hosts. He actually was able to amplify that for me. So as I told you guys, I'm not good with this stuff. I don't. And he's also been able to do some spectrographs of a lot of the audio, and so like the things that I'm hearing, it's outside of the range of what's.
Well, here, I can bring that picture up and you can talk about that. So here's the spectrograph.
Yeah. And then there should be an audio after it. So you can see that, like, how high that the range. Now that bottom, the lower ones, yeah, that's normal, sounds, whatever. But a lot of that, where you go up that high, that's not normal, the normal range. Anything, what do they say, like 600, 650, anything over that hertz is outside of the normal range of what an animal or a human can do.
Wow.
So I'm trying to remember what audio went with this.
It doesn't. I think I had them together, but it really doesn't matter. That just that's just showing you like that it is. That's because I think there was 2 that I sent, but
okay, so we'll go to the I'll go to the first one that you sent, I believe.
Okay.
Wow, that ending.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I was
That
like,
was
why
definitely.
yeah, because I'm
I
like,
mean,
wait,
I
why?
could, the beginning one was deep,
Yes.
but that last part was
Mhm.
just utteral. It's just
Mhm.
guttural. Guttural
Yes.
is the word I want.
Yes. Yes.
Hmm.
And I saw, yeah, we were talking about you guys, Tennessee, Kentucky Bigfoot. Yeah, about the blue orb. But yeah, he said I recently heard they make sounds on both intake and output of breath, and I would definitely agree with that.
Hmm.
And I had also heard that somebody say that they have like glands in their neck, like similar to other
Oh,
animals that they can. And I would say yes, because I have captured audio that you can hear that like almost breath, and I could definitely like just picture that, you know.
right.
So
Hmm.
I definitely think that it's like
Yeah, because that
nothing.
sound has to come from deep within,
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep.
and then to be that loud to catch it,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, oh my
Mm-hmm.
gosh.
Yeah. And again, this is, amplified. A lot of is cleaned up, the residual, because some nights the water here will be loud because it's, we get waves and crashing and all that, or it'll just be loud, and so they're able to get to filter out a lot of that junk, and but that deep distinctive, it's so, I right away, I now can hear. I'm like, oh yep, that's it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
So
also found,
let's go to the next one,
yeah,
and
okay,
we'll compare the two.
okay.
Wow.
Now what
So
that is, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I can hear them in there.
Mhm.
Not quite as good as the first one as far as that really nice bass coming out loud, but I could definitely hear the sounds of them in that one.
Mhm.
Now when the guy that had modified, enhanced it and amplified it for me, he is a former paranormal investigator. He had heard something that I think I had released this just on my Facebook page, and I don't remember if it was amplified or not, but he had said, Barb, I hear a conversation in there. And he now researches, Sasquatch and Bigfoot. And he said, I hear a conversation. And he said, they'll do this. It's a whispered conversation between, two or more. And so he was able to amplify it and bring that out. So it does definitely sound like an exchange. But he said that
Mhm.
like they know that you're listening to them. And they can tell if when the security camera goes on, there'll be like because they're IR, there'll be like a round
Right.
circle, and and I mean, a human eye can see that, but it also emits a light that, that if they can see IR, they can see that. So,
Mhm.
they'll know that I'm there. And so he said that's what that is. He felt that was a conversation, and it really does sound like a conversation.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because you could hear them back and
Yes.
I don't know how many was in there, but
No,
I
I
could
don't
definitely
either.
hear. I
Yeah.
could definitely hear like two,
Mm-hmm.
almost like they were answering each other or
Yes.
bouncing off of each other.
Yes. Yep. I saw that Henry, I think it was Henry Nelson, had said that it sounds like a boar, and I agree, but we don't have wild boars in Washington State, in Western Washington State. We don't have them, and that would also be something like, I mean, we live on a small peninsula, so and it's rural, but so people would find that like if we had it, any there's so there's farms.
Right.
If we had that, people would quickly discover that. Plus with the perimeter, around of our security cameras would pick that up. So we don't have any. There are no close enough farms to us that we're going to pick up any of that. Fortunately, like residual that you'd hear. I mean, we don't even hear roosters here, and I know people have them, but so.
So I have 2 more audios left. I think you sent. So do you want to keep going, or you want to show
Sure.
pictures, or
Let's just do
All
the
right.
audio. Mm-hmm. This
So
is,
I
and
hear
cut that off. Yep.
I hear the grunting in there.
Yep. I cut that off because this is the one where I said that I felt like it was the telepathy with where I saw the word, the Mont,
Mhm.
and that was what so I got that, I think it was April 1st, and I hadn't heard him that distinctly for a few months. He may have been in the whispered conversations, but not him coming and making that purposely. Like I could hear him walking toward the camera. I got that one. It's him. So that one, there's he just grunts a little bit in the beginning and nothing else. There's nothing else in the rest of the recording.
Okay.
I got a 10-minute one where you can hear him in
wow.
the middle. Yeah, but it's not, most of it is nothing,
Mm.
so, and then but the one that I had sent you was where I was laying there for a while and thinking, wait, did I just imagine this? And then I turned the camera back on, and then I got that, which is the other one that I feel like he grunted at just to say, yes, you did. And then that's also the sound with the weird, almost plural sounding,
All right. So we got one more of
Yeah,
the
then this will
audio.
be-
That's
yeah.
54 seconds.
Mhm. Yeah, and I looped this one. I did a screen recording, so you'll hear him, and then you hear the weird, like, I don't know, like sound that's almost like a portal kind of sound.
Okay. Wow.
That's a
I can
bizarre
hear-
sound.
Yeah, it's
You've
hard to
never heard
describe, isn't it?
Yes, I've never heard that before. We
Wow.
get like ambient traffic noises, but not anything that's, and I've never even heard a traffic noise like that.
Wow.
We don't have any. There's no really busy streets. There's it's funny. There's a highway, but that's not that busy overnight. But that's like 3 miles away. But the sound will travel over the water occasionally.
Mhm.
But this is not. I'd never heard this, and it's just weird because it's right when he does that, you hear that. I don't know if it has anything to do with it, but I don't know what that sound is. No idea.
Yeah. But in
Wow.
my imagination, when I was listening to it, it does almost sound like something's powering up and almost spinning.
Yes. That's what my friend said. Yeah.
Wow.
Because she's heard them and she has seen them and heard them. And it's more of like an alien thing. So I don't
Wow.
know. I don't know.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I've never, and yet Latro, I agree. I've never heard it. I just, like on television, what you would hear, or a movie, what they,
Mhm.
I have no idea. Maybe it's not, but I don't know what else it could be. Not anything I've ever recorded here before.
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
And that's the thing. If we've never experienced it or we don't, how do you describe it? So we have to use terms that we think
Yep.
somebody else might recognize or experience or know what it is. So, I mean, we use the term portal, we use
Right.
all these stuff. We're not saying it is, but
Right.
it's like, how
Yes.
else can you explain it? I mean, that's
Yes.
what my mind's telling me. It's something
Mhm.
powering up and
Mhm.
there's some kind of spinning action, it almost sounds like. And
Yep.
I don't know.
And that was, so I got the first one, like where I got that picture of the Mont in my head and he
Mhm.
made that noise, and then grunted. And I was like, oh, wow, that's the alpha. Then nothing. And then I listened for 10 minutes and got pretty much nothing except him occasionally grunting. Then then again with this one, I was like, okay, if that was you, can you just like give me a response? Like, I don't know, let me,
Mhm.
and then immediately it was that grunt and then that weird portal sound. So I don't
Wow.
know, it's a
Wow.
big coincidence. Who knows? I can't say for sure, obviously, but it's really cool. Yeah. So
No, but I mean, when you're there or you hear it, you have that first instinct, like that
yeah.
you can't.
Mhm.
Everybody has that where you can't. Okay, I can't prove it. I can't tell you. I can't show you necessarily.
Right.
But we all have that whatever description in our mind from the very first time we see it, and that's what I had. I had this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear the reaction of the entity or the Bigfoot,
Mm-hmm.
and then you hear that swirling sound, almost like. And we've all experienced that, whether it's a motor starting or a wind whipping around or something. But this was
Right.
something totally different,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
it does sound like what we've seen in movies before, where they use the portal sound.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
what other reference can we use? I don't know.
Yep. It's I'll tell you, it's really
That's interesting. That
yeah.
Do you know how many is in your clan that's nearby?
Well, I've been told by two people that one just can Robin Haynes, if you know her, she
Yep.
can just
Yeah.
communicate with them.
We've
And
talked to her also.
Yep.
Mhm.
At the time, and it was funny, I didn't know Robin at the time. I was watching her on a podcast and it was live, and I was in the chat, and this is the first time I had ever heard her, but people were asking her questions and I thought, I'm just going to ask her, and I said, hi, Robin, can you tell me if there's any Bigfoot on my property or around living around me? And so she said, oh yes. And she said, they refer to themselves as clans. In your area, you have 2 clans. And then she said that there were 17 in the one that was closest to me. And then there were 19 in another clan that live close, but and some of the family members are the same. Some, are adopted in, married in. But she said there's 17 that come onto your property. And I was like, oh my God.
Wow.
I
That's a
didn't
lot.
tell anybody about anything, like nothing. Nobody knew anything at that point. Then just recently, I had a friend who was a psychic from Australia, and she kind of like did a remote read or whatever they can do. And she said that now they're 17, not 19 or no 15. I'm sorry. Now there's 15. And she didn't know the original numbers either. I didn't share any of that with her. She said, now there's 15. And she even gave me like the family structure. So there's,
oh,
and then some children. And I just thought that the number was so similar, it was cool.
Mhm.
So then I told her, I said, well, somebody had told me previously that there were, what the numbers were. And she said, yeah, they either, passed or they've moved on. And she said, I'm not sure. I didn't ask them that.
well, just like what we experience in our life. I mean, you have kids that move away to go to college.
Yep.
You have a father or a wife that'll go out to work and then come back, or some people are businessmen and they travel and they're gone for a week or a month.
Right.
And just like we've experienced with the Native Americans, they'll go out on hunting parties and then come back, a week or a month later back to the tribe. So, I mean, I assume that they would function in almost the very same way.
Right. You would think so. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, Tennessee, it is Kath, but she doesn't want me to tell a lot of what she read because she said they're very, they're very, there's a lot that she said, please don't release any of this. They don't want her to, there's a lot of things they don't want her to release. So I'm like, okay,
Right.
I don't want to lose their trust. I'm like, I certainly don't want to lose their trust. So
Respect their privacy.
yes, exactly.
And that's what we're all about. I mean, we want to discover, we want to know more, we want to get to know them, but we don't want to harm them in any way or bring attention to them or have anybody come to your area looking for them. I mean, we want to experience them. We want to gain their trust so we can learn more. And if we can help them in some way, we want to help them if they need something. That's why we talk to Robin or somebody else that can mind speak or that can tell us, okay, this is what they want. They're wanting something from you.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And it's so cool that, to be able to have somebody that, just, kind of confirm what you think is and what you see. I've seen 3 of them now, with my, my naked eye. One was really close. It was in August. And there's an area right next to my house where where I said that we had found the tree break and then eventually was made into an X. And some nights they'll kind of start to come out and I haven't seen them, it's something that like, you don't, it's right, literally like right next to our like side deck in our living room, but you can't look out the window and they're there. But if I'm in the front yard looking toward, like they kind of hang around the trees, but they must know, that like, so they're not going to be completely visible, but I can see them. It's not well enough to, say exactly, get a lot of features or whatever. But so anyway, this one night I thought it was getting dark. And I was kind of walking along thinking, I wonder if I can pick them up on my camera, because this is when I had been seeing them coming out. And because sometimes, they'll show up on your camera then, or your phones, where they won't, again, with the naked eye, but they can camouflage themselves so well too. But so I'm walking along, just, have my phone video on my phone. And then I came to the end of that part, and then there's like in the wood line, there's there's brush that kind of hangs down over before the woods start, and then just beyond that is this, like I said, the ravine. So there was a really dark area that has that where this brush kind of hangs down over. It's salal actually, and it hangs over. And I thought, oh, what if I'm just going to kind of stick my camera in there and see what happens. So, well, I surprised it and it surprised me. And I such a idiot. I screamed and I ran. And I can't believe I could run that fast. And it was like up these, like, it's like steps built in to the landscaping. But I was like, oh, so what I saw and I also, as I'm screaming, I didn't get anything on the camp, nothing. I mean, I would have had a perfect shot. He was, like I said, like 6 to 8 feet away from me. It looked exactly like Chewbacca, except that it was a little bit more like Chewbacca's is like round. This was a little bit more pointed, but it wasn't like you'll see the like perfect like bullet. Right. It wasn't like that. It was more rounded than that. It was auburn. It had its knees drawn up. And its arms were like this, and it was holding its knees. And I remember the long like hair that was like hanging off of both of it. I could only see it from the eyes up, and except like the legs. And it had, I don't know if it had white hair or if it was just like the skin that was bare, like around its eyes, because I remember that it was so distinct, like these white patches. And I looked at it, and immediately, like when it went down, like it went down like that. And so, and then I'm screamed and ran. So, but I could have had the perfect, but it just wasn't meant to be. And it's because I also, when I went back to see if I got a picture, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm ready to see this. Like, oh my gosh, it's really, it's just an indescribable feeling. Like you want to see it, but you don't. It's just, oh my gosh. And I would say that it wasn't massive. It was big. I'm thinking 6-7 feet. So, but it wasn't like, it certainly wasn't an adult. Like people will say, oh my gosh, they're massive. It wasn't that. So it was a young one, and it was cute. Like how its eyes immediately went down, because they say that's what they'll do. So I saw one from a pretty good distance, probably 80 yards. It was crouching alongside of a tree. And I thought, whoa, that really looks like one, but its face, the skin on its face looks so much like tree bark. That I thought, well, maybe it's part of the tree. And I had myself convinced that it was part of the tree, and I was just seeing this, I went back a couple days later, and there's nothing. It's not there. So then a few days later, probably about a week, I went back and I saw it again, but I didn't go as close as I was the first time. I mean, it wasn't even that close, but I did get a pretty good picture of it the first time.
So you sent me pictures of one next to a tree. Is this a different?
Let me see if that's the one. I don't know. We'll see. Well, we can go through the pictures and we'll see, because I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't either.
You guys, I have ADHD, and it's so bad. And oh my gosh. And like from one day to the next.
I'll just start from the beginning. I don't know which pictures are which.
That's fine. Yeah, let's just do that. Oh, that is, well, that's, I don't know if you can see, it's one that's, and I didn't see this with my naked, I got this on a video. It's one that's leaning back against like a stump that's there. And this is a little weird structure that they made from like a couple of trees that had fallen down, and they kind of just bent, how they bend the limbs and kind of almost like braided them together.
Right.
So yeah. So
yeah, I wish I could make that. I wish I could make that full screen or zoom in, but I can't.
Yeah. But that's something. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I put that on my Facebook page, so you could check on there. If not, I'll do that after the show, just to people can check it out. Because then I think the next one that I'd sent was So that's the same stump there to the right, and there's nothing. There's nothing there.
Yes.
Wow.
You can see this one looks really human. It has like a pointy nose and it almost looks like kind of like a pointy, like a beard kind of, but it could just be it's hair, but it's weird looking.
Yeah. And then you have some that you have in different colors, I believe. If it's the same one, I'm not.
Well, maybe. Yes. Because this one, the features come out more.
Yeah, they do come out more in black and white.
Yeah, I forget who told me to do that, but that really is maybe Carrie Ann. She's been so great with So she said that a lot of times you can get it in the black and white or the noir setting.
I'm not sure. I think you sent 4. Okay. I don't know if that's the same.
This one is hard. This one is not everybody's going to be able to see this. This is it's a solid black one. I think it's either a young female or a older adolescent. I think it's a female though, and she's holding a baby that is white, that I thought looked like a human baby, so much like a human baby. It has blonde white hair, and it's kind of, if you can see, like the little arms are hanging down over it. And she's holding it. So, but again, not some people look at that. And then there's some other ones behind her, like little ones this big one's left. Looks like there's 2 or 3 more, and then possibly one standing above.
Yeah.
But
wow.
Wow. And then I don't know. That's a
So
completely
okay, this
different.
is the one. This is when I got this was a screen capture from a video, and you know, it looks just like, doesn't that look like a little kid sitting there? And
Yes,
that's this little baby, this little blonde baby, and
Yeah.
and you can see in the video how it kind of like moves its head, like, oh, like I shouldn't be looking, you know, and but when it does move its head, it kind of blurs out. So this was the best like capture, you know, of it. And I thought that it was much smaller than it was. I think I sent you the picture of me like sitting in the area where it was. Um,
I think so. Let me see if
yeah, so
Mm.
so that's me. I'm sitting in the area, and so you can see, you know, that I'm taller, much taller. So I was like, oh, it's just little. But then somebody said, you know what though, its head is bigger than like its head is not that much smaller than my head. So we figured that it was maybe the size of like a 4-year-old, which again, I thought this was going to be much smaller. I was thinking, oh, maybe it's a little baby, like a gnome or a pixie or something like that. Um, but then now that I know that it's just a young Sasquatch.
yeah,
Because I
because
saw.
I can see the face distinctly.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And there's one now, not in this picture, but in the video, you can see what looks like an adult standing above it. Like again, it's out of this picture, but
Ah,
yeah. So like it was watching over, and there could be a juvenile, another one sitting behind it that has almost like greenish skin, because some of them. I think that they're just lighter colors and they're reflecting all of you know, all of the green that's around them. So they're kind
right.
of, you know,
Wow.
so
So I think that's it, other than you have like a ruin symbol.
oh yeah, that was a one of the glyphs that because they do leave glyphs, and I didn't this was
Oh.
this is funny. So we're renovating the house, and we've been since, you know, the day we moved in. We're still continuing. We were doing our front porch, and this is sliced hardy plank, and then the thicker one. So like if you say it's the F, you know, the lower, that is
Right.
like a Trex decking or whatever the stuff that we have. Um,
Yes.
so we had a pile of, you know, my husband just had it in a pile. And one morning, I came out and I'm like, did you do this? And he's like, why would I do that? And I'm like, 'cause he really doesn't know about what you know, he thinks that's ridiculous. I don't think that, Barb. No, he said, maybe I just threw it there accidentally. I'm like, no, this was definitely not there. Like, these are the things that I notice now, you know?
Right.
Right.
And, um,
So
and
are
also
those full size boards, or are they? I mean, it's
there.
not like a little stick you'd pick up in a yard. This is you just have it far away to be able to see the whole image, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Or
No, but it's not that large. It's probably the two, maybe they're like probably about maybe 12 inches. And then
okay.
yeah, about 12 inches is, you know, the two that are almost parallel. And then
Yeah, I'm
goes
comparing it
across.
to the pine needle.
Yeah, and then yeah. So that's that one's probably, I don't know, what, 6 inches maybe. And it was
Okay.
weird. It looks like, yeah, I don't know. I
So
don't,
a
you know.
school ruler of 12 inches or something in that approximation then for the long ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
All
I say.
right.
And then so I mean, it looks like if, but I'm sure they didn't mean if. I don't even know what that would
No, but
be, right? Like
if you look at it like a ruin or something, have you tried to look up anything that looks
I
close to that?
I did, but I I can't find
Hmm.
anything, and I don't know, you know, I don't
Now,
I have no
Grizzly
idea.
does ruins and stuff. I wonder if he would recognize it, or
He's
some of the
well,
people on his show.
yeah, I think he had seen it and didn't really know what it could be. Some people will say like it's a message for, you know, like they're leaving a message for you. Yeah, it does look like the Van Halen logo.
Van Halen.
Oh my gosh.
All
Wow.
right. This
Yeah.
is the second show that somebody's referenced my favorite
Well,
band growing up, Van Halen.
wow.
Maybe they want to hear some Van Halen.
Yeah. Yeah, Standing Stones did say he thought it was like a room thing, but I don't know, and I can't say the message. One of the things that I didn't send you was it's almost like, I think it's like their signature glyph that it almost looks like it's like a tic-tac-toe box. I find that everywhere. It'll be
Oh.
just like a tic-tac-toe box, and
Well,
then
you know,
sometimes it'll
also,
be
now that
longer.
you said that,
Oh,
maybe each clan has a symbol that
Yeah.
represents them.
Mhm, mhm.
Just like the
yeah.
Scottish, for they had their clans, the kilts with a certain pattern
Yes.
and a crest or an emblem. So maybe they do too.
Yeah.
Mm.
And what's cool is that when I see something and I'm like, I like an area that I think that they're sitting, but I'm not positive. And then I'll go, back to that area and there will be the glyph. And like, okay,
Mm.
that's made, that's made by them. I didn't send you, my husband and I just did a reenactment when like I said, when we were renovating our front porch, and that was last August. We had changed the location of our front porch security camera. So, not, and I thought, oh, I wonder if we'll catch anything, but I didn't really think that, I don't know. I didn't really think that we did, because we had moved it from where it was, and it was kind of just sitting along a ledge. And just about a week ago, I saw what I was first looking at is not as interesting as the thing sitting over to the right, like closer to the garage. It looks just like a Bigfoot is sitting there, not a massive one, but maybe an older juvenile or young adult. And so I had to wait till it's, because it's a big, like, to take the camera down when it needs to be recharged, he's climb up a ladder. It's pretty high. So I thought the next time that's needs to be recharged, we'll recreate that. So I was able to do that. We just did that the other night. So I got the side by side, and it definitely, it's funny because they look so different from the IR, the IR
Right.
looks so different than a human. And it definitely, you can tell. I'm telling my husband, like, to crouch down. He is about like 5'6", 5'7", maybe, I don't know, like 215, I don't know, pounds. Like, so not like, he's not a big, not a big guy, but he's not like a little skinny guy. But this thing is the mass was much bigger than him. And also, like, from the top of the head to what I believe is like the butt of this animal is so much like longer, than what my husband's, like, just the body proportions, like, whoa. So I really think that this was, that we got one, that was, it's like, I don't know what else it could be. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
We actually have been talking about getting a FLIR so we could see the heat signatures.
Yeah, that's one thing we don't have.
yeah.
And then there's also like lenses that you can put over top of your cameras. Now, I don't know about security cameras, but I might try it anyway. But they're usually made for 35mm cameras that you can get
Oh,
different spectrums, whether it's the red or the blue, to take out some of the hate. Like, they have nighttime filters, they have daytime filters. So I'm thinking about ordering a set of those to try to experiment, to see if maybe it changes the spectrum of the IR camera, to see if maybe it'll pick up something, or maybe
Yeah.
make something a little more clear.
yeah,
I don't
maybe.
know. There's just lots of stuff we can try and experiment with, but
Yeah.
will it work? I don't know,
Mhm.
but I'm going to try.
Yeah. Yep. I also think that, I just think a lot of this is just, gaining their trust, and
Yeah.
keeping their trust, and the promises that I make to them. I don't,
Right.
I also feel like I'm the type of person that, like, I love animals, love wildlife, and
Mhm.
everything, and like, it wouldn't be uncommon. Now, this has not happened for the last 3 years, but prior to that, we would have, like, Joe would bring the little baby, the fawns into the yard and just leave them there. I got to plug in my computer. Just leave them there for the day, and I was really honored by that. They're
Mhm.
allowing, they trust me. So I don't know. Did they sense that? From me? I
I
don't know.
think so. They know your intentions.
I think so, because we had bunnies Well, we had several bunnies last year, and I'd sit in my spot, my little rock garden in my area. They'd hop right in front of me and just
Oh
look
my
at me
God.
and eat clover. They know I'm not a threat. So I think
Yes.
animals do sense that
Mhm.
you're not a threat. You're not going to get up and scare them
Mhm.
off.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
we have a baby squirrel that Jane just found now, and
Oh,
it's not a baby, but it's out on its own. But
But
we
he's
don't know if it
small.
fell out of the nest or
oh,
what. So
Yeah, we've had storms here lately.
we put
yes.
a little squirrel house out there for it, and Jane was actually able to pet it and pick it up, and it didn't freak out,
Yeah,
and
it
so
it curled it curled up like it was just snuggling and
Oh,
wanting the attention and probably
oh,
missed mom and the babies. I don't know which direction, it would come from. So I
yeah.
don't, the only thing I can do right now is just we have an old squirrel house. It actually is a wooden squirrel house. But the thing is, he's on the ground in the squirrel house. That's not going to protect him from a possum or
Right.
anything. So I just don't know what to do with the little guy right now.
Does he look
so
like he can,
we're giving him
like he
water and some food, some
Yeah,
nuts, and
it's
that
old
we think
enough for
he would
food.
eat.
Yeah, the
able
eyes
to?
are open.
Okay. Yeah,
We
that's
gave
So
him
eventually he'll wander off and probably go up
yeah.
into a tree. And I'm really hoping that maybe he'll find his normal family.
Yeah. Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah.
otherwise we're going to have a pet squirrel in the backyard. We're going to
Not,
have to make a
yeah.
higher home, something more secure
Right.
for him.
Have a cage. Yep. And you can't put it with the chicken pen because it went into the chicken pen yesterday and the chickens were all freaking out.
Oh,
And
geez.
I think they're getting ready to go after it. And I went, oh no,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Well,
Oh,
if it sticks around and stays friendly or whatever, I might mount it on the inside of our shop and have an access hole on the outside so he can climb on top of the chicken pen
aw.
into his home.
Oh,
We'll have to see if he stays long enough to
Yeah.
be part of
yeah.
the family. Yes.
I haven't checked on him this afternoon, so hopefully he's still over there.
That's cute. Aw. Hi, Squatch and Holler. Yeah, that's cute.
Yeah, we got quite a few people. It's been popping in and out.
You
A
guys.
lot of friends of ours, a lot of friends of
Yep.
yours, and
Thank you. Nice.
I think this is a good place to stop right at the moment, and we can most definitely have you back for
Oh
more
yeah.
videos or other things that you've experienced.
And
Or
I'm gonna have you, Grizzly and I are gonna have you on our show in May, so everybody will have to
Awesome.
check that out too. I can't wait to hear about all your experiences and thank you
That
guys.
sounds
yeah, so we
sounds
got
similar.
videos. We got videos that some of them we haven't even shown on our channel because we got so much footage, just like you.
Yeah.
It takes time to go through it all. It's like,
Yes.
oh man, I didn't see that.
Yes. Yeah. And you don't want to, like release something like there's been things that I've released a little too early, and then it's like, what, and then you feel like a dope,
Right.
Well, we could post hours and hours of videos, but it's
Yeah.
going to be basically the same thing over and over and over again.
Mhm.
So we try to go through it to find something. Oh, I haven't seen that before, or that
Right.
looks a little different than the last one I posted. So,
Right.
so we
Yep.
try to keep it new and fresh, or something that we haven't experienced yet, or something that looks, oh, well, that's really weird.
Yep.
Well, just like our skyfish, you can't have 10 different videos of skyfish. Okay, we'll show a
Yes.
few, but you can't just keep uploading.
Right. But that's another thing, right? Like who knows who knows?
Yeah.
And,
Right.
Geez,
Yeah. So we'll get into that with you and
Yep.
Grizz and see what
Yeah. We'll get to the
so we
orbs
can
of
figure
skyfish.
out, or maybe somebody in your guys' chat will say, "Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I think. That's what that is."
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, he got that great one on a game camera, and I've never seen one. I've never seen one of those on my. I get
Yeah.
orbs, but but yeah, cool.
All right.
Cool stuff.
Well, thank
guys
you for
so much.
coming.
Thank you for having me. It's
And
great.
Yeah,
we
thank
just enjoyed
you.
this conversation so much with you, and you're very pleasant, and we just love you to death. And so
Thank
we'll
you.
have to
Love
have you back. And
Thank
like I
you.
said, we'll see you on your show. And
Sounds good. Sounds perfect. Yeah.
so
Let me get
anybody
this-
out there that's in chat or watching for the first time, or maybe people that's going to be watching in the future, make sure you go out and check Barb's No Drama Bigfoot page
Yep.
on Facebook and
Yep.
YouTube.
Yep.
And she's on Grizzly Chris, which is Bigfoot Outlaw now. So
Yep.
make sure you check out their shows on Thursdays. And
Yeah. So you guys are, May 16th. Yep.
All right.
Tune
Okay,
in.
May 16th, we'll be on Barb's show.
Awesome. Yay. Looking forward to it.
Now, if anyone's bored later, remember, we've got our 24-hour channel up. And I need to move the camera. Sorry, it's kind of in a boring spot right now. But yeah, our 24-hour stream is up, and check out skyfish and orbs and rabbits and skunks and possums and anything else that shows up.
Awesome.
So I guess we will see everyone next week.
So we'll just say bye real quick. So don't go anywhere, Barb. We'll talk to you in just a few seconds. And
all right, great.
We're just going to say bye to everybody. Thank you for coming. We love you guys.
Yeah,
you guys are showing us awesome love and support. Thank you for being here tonight. And make sure you go to Barb's channel and Grizz's channel. And if you haven't already been there,
I have a little YouTube one too, and I'd love to get some subscribers on that. I put some of my
cool.
Yeah, so it's the same name though. No drama, Bigfoot and cryptids.
Okay.
Yeah. So anybody that's in chat or whatever, make sure you go over to Barb's YouTube, and we'll get her up there as much as we can anyway. And maybe she'll be able to do some lives from her YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll just say goodnight to everybody, and we love you to death. Oh, did my camera freeze up?
It froze up because you have a bubble.
Yeah.
You had a bubble with the thumbs up.
All of a sudden, I don't know if it's a feature on my camera or what, but when I do like a thumbs up, sometimes it'll bring up a thumb. I don't know where it came from.
And you froze, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Oh my.
Anyway, I'm back now. So.
Well, we will see everyone in our 24-hour chat on and off. If not, we will see you guys next Sunday.
All right. Love you guys. Love and peace. Be kind to others and do something kind for yourself. And you got to love yourself first before you can spread that love out to others.
And keep your vibrations high.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
All right.
All right. See you next time. Love you.
Bye. Love everyone.